Rishabh in the house, back with another Arsenal news episode. Well, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable news for you guys. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable news. Finally, Mikel Arteta makes sure that Folarin Balogun will sign a new contract at Arsenal. Of course, we're going to talk about Achraf Hakimi as well. It is going to be a blast of a transfer news episode. You guys will love it because it's coming up right now and it's going to be an unreal performance breakdown by me. So what exactly is Arsenal opening up to in the transfer window? How exactly are we going to go in the next couple of seasons? Well, Fabrizio Romano has opened up about that, and of course we have David Ornstein, who actually opened the lid about Arsenal's future plans. So we are going to talk about it as never before. The first thing that we actually have to address tonight is Achraf Hakimi. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano via Arsenal Lounge, it looks like it's true that Arsenal love Achraf Hakimi. If they can sign Hakimi, they sign Hakimi, but it's a really complicated deal to do. Hakimi is probably at the top of their list, but it's really difficult because Inter do not want to sell Hakimi. Inter just don't want to sell Hakimi. Also, Hector Bellerin is almost out. Luis Guendouzi and Torreira situations have not been decided yet. Arsenal haven't received any calls for Torreira or open talks with Boca Juniors. Lacazette could be sold, and if so, they will go for a new striker. The feeling is absolutely the same talking to people around the club. They're really happy with Arteta. I know it's not easy to say after the Europa League or Premier League situation because they're so happy with the manager. They're planning for transfers with Arteta. Now this is everything that Fabrizio Romano came up. He says they're thinking of a new season with Arteta as a manager. They're looking at players that Arteta likes. This is typical when you want to continue with a manager for the next season. They are backing him 100%. So no way is Mikel Arteta getting out. He's getting the backing of the board, and you guys who say Arteta out, just pipe down. Moving on, the biggest talk of the town tonight is Folarin Balogun signing a new deal. So initially it was David Ornstein came up with the report that after months of talks and coming close to reaching a pre-contract agreement with an overseas club, 19-year-old striker Folarin Balogun to sign a new 4-year deal at Arsenal imminently. That's the case. That is the first report that came in. He said that Folarin Balogun is set to sign a new 4-year contract with Arsenal. Also, this was reported by Guardian and Telefootball that he's actually close to signing a new contract. But here's the biggest part. Fabrizio Romano tweets out that Folarin Balogun is going to turn down an important contract bid from Bayer Leverkusen to stay at Arsenal. RB Leipzig have never been in the race. Balogun is now set to sign a new contract with Arsenal until 2025. The agreement is imminent, as David Ornstein reported. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's imminent. Folarin Balogun stays at Arsenal. And also, David Ornstein also opened up about the difference, what is actually happening at Arsenal. He says, Arteta is at the center of a new era for Arsenal that they hope will come to fruition and improve over time. They're building the project around him, Edu, the Cronkies. They hope that in time and with transfer markets in plural, that Arteta will prove to be the right man for them. He clearly needs different players, rejuvenated players. He needs to keep building that squad in a way that is molded to his desire. Otherwise, it's not going to work for Mikel Arteta. From people we speak to, he's very highly rated. He appears to be very highly rated, but I think Arsenal have a lot of work to do in the transfer market. They have some expiring contracts, Luis this summer and Lacazette the summer after. They need to get the decisions right. The time and patience is running out. Also, Arsenal are actually sympathetic to Lucas Torreira's desire to leave the club this summer, but they will demand a fee in the region of £15 million, 15 million pounds, to sanction his departure, sources have said ESPN. There is no option to buy in his current loan agreement with Atletico Madrid, and in any case, Atletico are not interested in a permanent transfer. Well, that is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Folarin Balogun to stay, and it looks like Lucas Torreira's price tag has been set to £15 million. Well, Balogun is rated as one of the best young forwards in the country. He had attracted interest from some of the Arsenal's Premier League rivals, including Manchester City and Everton. Arteta has managed to convince Balogun that he has a long-term future at the Emirates. Only a few final details have to be resolved until he signs the contract, according to Mail Sport Online. So it is about time that we see Folarin Balogun play for Arsenal next season. But manager Mikel Arteta and technical director Edu Gaspar is convinced that the player's future is at the Emirates. This is going to be crazy, man. Folarin Balogun, he made Folarin Balogun to stay. I don't know if this is not big. I don't know what is. Unbelievable. But the best part is that Folarin Balogun actually turned down Bayer Leverkusen, man. He could have got the first team action there, but respect. Mad level of respect for Mikel Arteta and Foreign Balogun to stick to Arsenal, man. Lovely, lovely. Moving on, so Jamie Carragher has opened up about Aubameyang and that captaincy armband. Now, he's not happy with Aubameyang actually doing justice to that armband. Jamie says Aubameyang should see that armband as an opportunity to be the driving force and inspire the young players. He has been hiding behind them. That saddens me because he's a player that I have loved watching. It's easy to apply retrospective wisdom when looking at the lucrative contract given to him and say it was an expensive mistake. He owes the club far more than he is delivering. It's the attitude and demeanor which is most concerning. At times, he has looked disinterested. I really don't know what to say. I completely agree to that. So Arteta was asked if Aubameyang is possibly becoming another Ozil-like situation. Arteta says, I'm always positive about the future. I don't want to think about things that happened in the past or compare different persons or different personalities. That's cool. Also, according to Sky Sports, Foreign Balogun is close to signing a new contract. Mikel Arteta and Edu have convinced the player his future is at the Emirates. So how crazy is that? It's done and dusted. It's delivered. It is delivered. Justice has been served. Unreal. All the Arsenal fans must rejoice tonight because that's a big, huge news. Wow, Foreign Balogun staying. I love to see that. Wow. Moving on. So now you know that Foreign Balogun is staying. You know, you've already been hearing for a long 3-4 weeks from now that Gabriel Martinelli is considered as one of the centre forwards for Arsenal alongside Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So what happens to this youngster? Like what really happens to this youngster? I'd say he developed in a couple of seasons, probably a couple of big loan deals. Yeah, probably not to a club like Leeds in the Championship, but to a club like who's mid-table, rather give him a lot of game time, or rather the League One for that matter. So according to the Athletic UK, they say that the odd man out could well be Eddie Nketiah. With just one season remaining on his current contract and first team opportunities at the club difficult to come by, it's possible that the increasing competition could see him squeezed out. So it looks like, according to Athletic UK, there is a strong possibility that Arsenal will actually sell off Eddie Nketiah, and there's a strong possibility of that happening. Crazy stuff, isn't it? Super crazy. But I'm looking for one player, man. It's Foreign Balogun, and I'm not looking anywhere else. Anywhere else. I don't even have to look anywhere else. Well, moving on, the 9 Sheffield United players who could miss Arsenal's clash amid George Baldock's update. Now Arsenal travel to face bottom side Sheffield United in the Premier League this weekend, with the Blades currently struggling with a lengthy injury list. And Sheffield United could be without as many as 9 players for the visit of Arsenal this weekend. The Gunners make the trip to Yorkshire to face the Premier League's bottom club at Bramall Lane, with the Blades currently 15 points from safety with 8 games to play. Paul Heckingbottom is yet to see his side pick up a point in the Premier League side since being put in caretaker charge of Blades following Chris Wilder's departure. Now heading into the game with Arsenal, 9 players have been on the sidelines for Sheffield due to injury. Sandberg has been a long-term absentee with a thigh injury, although he is now running again. He's still short of making match fitness, while striker Billy Sharp is currently out with a muscle injury. In addition, Jack Robinson and Jack O'Connell remain long-term absentees, with Jack Rodwell, another, also currently sidelined. Chris Basham is closing in on a return to fitness, but the visit of Arsenal is expected to come too soon for him, while George Baldock and Jayden Bogle are both doubts, but could be involved at the weekend along with John Egan. Well, speaking ahead of the game, Heckingbottom said, "We took 2 more injuries in the Leeds game with Jayden and George head injuries. We have had to follow that protocol, so hopefully they will be signed off and come through it. Today was the first day of contact, and hopefully they will be fit and able to go." John Egan dropped in onto the back end of last week's training and got some minutes against Leeds. Had a full week training now, so he's much the better for 7 days training. Unreal, man. That's unreal amount of players being injured. But Martin Keown has raised his concern about Thomas Partey against Slavia Praha, the draw that happened. Keown has raised his concerns about Thomas Partey. Now, he actually went into criticize more that he was disappointed by what he saw from Partey. He says, "Partey as well tonight was another player that really disappointed me. Watching it live here, and we are not getting into the stadiums that often, he did not look like he had the legs to get around the pitch. He wasn't really bossing that midfield, and credit to them, by the way, Slavia, because they've got lots of good players and made good substitutions. But that's an area of the pitch that I would have thought by now he would be bossing." Unreal. And I know why, and on what basis he's telling that, because Thomas Partey has been doing that in La Liga for years now. So I also felt that towards the end of the second half, I think Thomas Partey really lost the lead. But anyways. So with this, we end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you seek daily Arsenal content, best place to be, consider subscribing. I will see you in the next one. Cheers.